Hello friends, today I'm here to do day 3 of my birthday week recommendations. Today is going to be enemies to lovers. Little blank side note, I don't enjoy like a bully romance. So my enemies are really more people who start out kind of arguing a little bit. But like I don't like there's not gonna be any like dark enemy romances in this. It's just kind of disagreement, dislike to lovers. The first one I'm gonna start off with is one that I've loved this year, and that is The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. This is a dual timeline story about a woman in current times who has inherited her grandmother's life and legacy and stuff like that. Her grandmother was this really well-known romance author, and she has inherited a manuscript that is unfinished. So she, or through like sneaky things, her mother hires this well-known current author. I kind of thought of him more like a Nicholas Sparks type, where he doesn't really do a happy ending, but people consider him a romance author. So they meet, and she agrees to let him finish the book, but they kind of butt heads over the ending. So that's where I'm coming in at the enemies to lovers, is that they had different ideas and argued a lot about how the book should end. And if you want some feels, if you want to cry, you should pick this book up. One that I would kind of say is a true enemies to lovers is The Book of Ivy by Amy Engel, I think is the author of it. I read this one several years ago. Kind of a dystopian situation. The hero and heroine are from different rival families, or I don't remember if it was their families or if it was like a found family type situation. But I forget which one was which. One of them is like the higher class of people, and the other one is the lower, and the two classes are rivaling each other to see who should be on top, and the hero and the heroine fall in love with each other during all of that. So this is probably the closest to a true enemies situation that I have for today. There's a good slow burn option for enemies to lovers is From Luke Off With Love by Mariana Zapata. I'm sure like this one got real big around, I guess it was the last Winter Olympics. I don't remember which Winter Olympics it was. It was one of them. This one is a figure skating romance. It starts out they butt heads a lot because the heroine has always done singles skating, and now she's kind of being forced to do pairs. And I guess you could say that the hero is kind of like the golden boy of pairs figure skating. So she doesn't really like him because she feels like things have been handed to him. But yeah, they work through all that. It's a really good book, a very slow burn, but so good. One that I'm sure most people have heard of if you watch BookTube is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. Calla and Jonah don't get along at the beginning. I think it's pretty well known now what this book is about, but Calla goes to Alaska to meet her father that she doesn't, or to re-meet her father that she hasn't seen in a long time. Jonah is a pilot that works for him. It's very, very good. Very worth the hype, in my opinion. For an enemies to lovers marriage of convenience book, I would highly suggest You Can Have Manhattan by Pete Angelico. The heroine in this one has worked for this company for a really long time, and she finds out that the owner, who she sees kind of like as a dad, is sick and that he is going to be passing away, and he wants her to marry his son so that he can like leave her the business, because like the board of directors or whatever won't allow him to leave it to somebody who's not family. So I forget what exactly the bribe was for the son to agree to this, but they don't get along at the beginning. He sees her as kind of somebody who sucks up to his dad, and she sees him as somebody who doesn't appreciate his dad, and it's a bit of a rocky start for a marriage, but I really enjoyed this one when I read it. I also have Justified by Jay Crownover on my list. This one he's the sheriff. Yes, he's the sheriff of a small town in Texas, and he's trying to undo all the damage that his dad did as sheriff because his dad was very crooked. He's going through a divorce and trying to get custody of his son. Or at the beginning, he's going through custody and he's going through divorce trying to get custody of his son, and he loses custody of his son. His ex-wife gets the son, and then as the sheriff, he has to protect the lawyer that helped his ex-wife get custody. It's very good. The whole Loveless Texas series is very good if you're looking for small town romances, but especially if you want that enemies to lovers. I also have Landon and Shea by Brittany C. Cherry on this list. I think more specific, well, no. They're enemies to lovers in part 1 and part 2, but for different reasons. In part 1, it's just like a high school thing. She overhears a bet that he could hook up with her or make her fall in love or something, and so she like bets back that she can make him fall in love, and then things go terrible from there, as you can imagine. And then as adults, they're enemies because of what went terrible. But overall, this duology is so good. So good. The Brittany C. Cherry feels are real. I also have A Hot Asset by Lauren Lane. I think this is the first book in her 21 Wall Street series. The hero is a Wall Street broker, and I forget who the heroine worked for. I want to say like the FBI or the IRS or somebody who's like investigating him for maybe doing stock trades that weren't like on the up and up. And so she really thinks he did it at the beginning, and he like doesn't like her because he's trying to tell her that he didn't, and she's got to do her investigation and all that. And finally, I have Every Little Thing by Samantha Young. This is, I think, book 2 in her Hearts Boardwalk series. This one, she owns a business. I forget what exactly kind of business it is. But a new businessman comes to town, and they kind of butt heads over, because it's a small town romance, and he's like a big city guy and she's the small town girl, and they kind of butt heads over the way that they think things should be done. Yes, if you're looking for that, this is definitely one you need to pick up. So those are some of my favorite enemies to lovers books. Let me know yours down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with foodie and chef romances. Bye.